Good morning, everyone. Today is day 2 of the 7-day vlog. It is the 16th of March, 2021, and right now it's a little bit 7:30. Camera quality is bad, but going quarter to 8. And this is all the stuff I gotta take to St. Leo today. The St. Leo football shirt on. But also, I'm gonna be packing my lunch because I got all day today. I'll be there probably close to 8, and be there until like 7 this evening. So I'm gonna get me some shepherd's pie. I'm gonna get me some sriracha. Open this up. There, close that up. I'm gonna get me a banana. I'm gonna head out. I guess I'll see you at St. Leo. I'll get my little egg in a basket. One last thing before I get St. Leo. Camera quality doesn't do it justice, but the sun's starting to peek through the sky. It looks really cool. It's like on fire or something like that. So arriving at St. Leo this morning, I emergency needed to take a photo. So I'm gonna park right quick, right here, where I probably shouldn't be parking because it's like pick up and drop off only. But I gotta get this photo on film camera. So I'm gonna leave my car right here. I'll show you guys what's up. But I'm probably gonna only shoot one more roll of film for the rest of the semester. Oh my days. A really cool photo over there and right here. Took another shot just right here. I'm far from running out of film. I've only shot like 5 out of 24. So see what else we can shoot, if anything, before class. So now I'm in the dark room, and I'm really hoping these chemicals that I mixed up on Thursday last week still are holding, because after they sit for a while, it just takes forever for the film to develop. So you got the developer, you got the stop bath, you got the fixer, which you cover up at the end. And you come in here, you get this thing, you plug it up into there, you cut the water on, and it's basically just a wash. And you put the papers in between here, and then it creates a huge watery mess. But usually on Tuesday mornings, almost this entire semester, I come in here and develop if I had a role to develop, but because I don't, I'm gonna get right into printing. And so I've got a list here of everything that I need to finish before, I think, the 12th of April. So I've got a little bit less than a month to print out, I don't know, like 10 photos, 10 to 12. I've got all these packets of negatives here. So the first one, this is 2nd of March. The first one I'm gonna do is probably the courthouse. One of those two. One's out of focus and one is a lot better in focus. But just going through, I've got like 5 contacts, or if you want to call them contact sheets. 5 of them essentially. So I gotta get all those photos done. There's about 1 to 2, sometimes 4 or 5 per sheet. So right quick, all these little sheets right here are all test sheets trying to get the right exposure. And they end up looking like this. I really love that. It's my mother. And so that one, oh, it might be under here. Yeah, here's the little test sheet. They get stuck together all the time. And it ends up See, this one's a little bit dark. It ends up looking like that in the end. So yeah. So I kind of wanted to walk you guys through this process. So the first thing I do is completely shut the lights out, or at least put them on the red light, which I'm happy you guys can kind of see it a little bit. And then this, what I like about glow in the dark, this won't last very long. But if I leave the light on, I absorb the light and then stay really bright. Usually this gets super dark though. So it's only a matter of time. But anyway, I push this no button. That's the exposure button. It's got a little timer on here. If you guys can see that. Or I can flip this switch down here. Look at that. It stays on. So I can pull this out. Flip it open. And then I'm only gonna do one from this entire thing. One exposure. And so this is, you can see it has to be lined up. See that white line on the left side? It has to be lined up perfectly. So I have to hold it up to the light and line it up just perfectly. Now I'm gonna slide this back in here. I have to keep this clamp closed. There we go. I know the camera quality isn't great, but and once I got the aperture up, I can get this thing that looks like a microscope almost. Okay, let's see if we can look at it. I don't know if you can really pull up on camera, but I have to essentially, like, it's really smooth in there. I have to get it, yeah, it's not gonna show up. Anyway, I have to get it to where it's real grainy within that eyepiece, and then it'll be in focus. See, like, it goes in and out of focus. That's close, but I need to use this thing to make sure. So now it's completely in focus, and it's composed a little bit better as well. So that's what it's gonna look like on the print. And so we've got these black lines here, or these black things that the paper will fit in between here and here, and you really have to like push it up into the corner, or you get uneven borders. And you close this down, and this bar right here isn't exactly straight, so I pull it down a little bit. Put my finger there to clamp it down, and then essentially you cut this off before the paper gets there. You hold it down like I said, and then you expose it. Usually we start at 8 seconds with an aperture of 8. So I've now also hooked up this machine, so it'll be filling up with water. And it's got a little, yep, see it? It'll be dripping out like that, but it'll be like shooting out like that. And then these will fill up and start, like, all 3 of the holes will be pouring out water at the end. And this is a kind of like a little funny thing that we have to do because this thing leaks. You have to push this up against the wall. And so if you put the spout down as well, it'll just run into the sink. So I figured that issue. Professor Houston showed me how to do that. And now you can't really tell, but slowly it'll be filling up in there. So I crank it up a little bit more. And that's where the washer will be. So I don't know how well you can see me, probably not very well. But the first important thing for a new photo that I have to do is I have to do test strips. And my friend Nick in London showed me how to do it, just like strips of it, like to where you expose, you cover up most of the paper except one little strip, and you expose 2 seconds per strip. So you start at 2, make your way all the way to 8. And I really liked that way until Professor showed me how to do this, where I fold like a paper in half, rip it in half, and then do it again. You get 4 little test strips like I showed you guys out there. And by doing that, you can kind of get more of a composed thing. What I like about the section test strips, like Nick showed me, is that you can get like a full paper. So it's not just like a little square of the exposure you're getting. So say something's really dark or really lighter in a different part of the photo, you're able to get that full view. This is just like a little square, but what I like this is these are so like disposable, get rid of them quickly. And instead of having like a whole paper, although this is equivalent to the same amount of paper you're using, still nonetheless cool, and I like this way a lot better. So it's super dark right now. I have my screen down low on the brightness as well, but I don't know how well you can see this. Essentially, I have to put that test strip in the middle of that white thing that I was showing you, and I can move this little slider up here if you can see my hand, and it's got like a red filter on it. And so it filters out into red light so I can kind of compose where I want the test strip or the paper to be, and it won't expose the actual paper because of the red light. But now that I move it away and I'm on f8 on the lens and I'm on 8 seconds, check what happens. Be exposing. I try to make sure, if you saw that, trying to get the lights and the darks, the extremes of both in one paper, so I can kind of delineate what I need to do, if that's the correct term. But now I'm gonna get this paper, and I need a depressor or whatever it's called. Right. Kind of looks like a tongue depressor, but it's essentially to move these papers around. And what I have to do is you have to dunk it right away, because if only half the paper gets immersed in the solution, then you'll get like an ugly white line if you leave it in there too long. So immediately drop it in. You have to like really push it down and let it, I don't know if it will come out or not. Like I said, this chemical is, I did it like Thursday last week. It is starting to come out, but it's gonna take a lot longer than it normally would because it's older. So I don't really want to bore you guys, and I really don't know how light it is in here, but you can start to see the face coming out. It's just taking forever, and professor doesn't have any stuff mixed up probably until like Thursday or next week, so I just have to use this. So this will probably be the only day I can do this, because it's starting to get like the wait time is going to be a lot longer. Because normally this would, I know I'm talking a lot, but normally this would just, the face would pop out immediately. But now it's just taking its sweet time to kind of do it. So test strips you don't have to be as careful with as you would like a full-on print. So it's been in there for a few minutes, 2 to 4 minutes like it should be. So I'm just going to shake it off, and then I'm going to put it in the stop bath right quick. And like I said, you either like move your hand around like this and make it kind of like a wave, wash over, or you could depress it. But this is essentially stopping the development process. And as you can see, it came out quite nice. I think I just wanted a little bit darker, so I may move it to like, I think I'm going to try 10 seconds with another test strip. And I believe, I guess, I forget what colors go where, which is not good, but oh well. And this one only goes in here for like 15 to 30 seconds. Agitated, as they say. So you gotta shake it off again, and then you gotta put it in the fixer. It's the last step before you can wash it. And the fixer, what it does is, I don't know, I guess it fixes the image. And so you leave it in there for about 2 minutes. So I'll see you once I put it in the wash. So I ended up doing a second test sheet, and this is the original. And then this is the other one. So you can see, I don't know if I can get the, yeah, I don't know if you guys can tell, but this one is significantly darker. And it has a lot more contrast, and I like it. Yeah, now you can see it. I like this one a lot better. I said 10 seconds, 9.5 seconds, something like that. So I'm gonna print that one, but I might get this gray tray right here. And I believe the yellow one goes here. You barely see the color because of the red light. But I'm gonna get this lighter one because it's been in the fixer for a minute. Shake it off, put it in the gray tray, because that's where the chemical tray goes. I found out the hard way that if you keep switching trays, you'll get chemicals on your final print, and you'll get yellow spots on it. Here's the final product for that test sheet. As you can see, there's not enough contrast. And so you can't really tell unless it's like in the light like this. And there's a lot of reflection, I know, but what I have been doing recently is just waiting until my test strips are done so I don't end up wasting paper, because you can't really see the definition. You can see it more like the contrast in the red light than you can in the actual like regular light. So yeah, I would have been really upset if this was a final print. It's just not enough contrast. But anyway, just pick it up now and dunk it in the water. Make sure it's all the way submerged, it'll sink to the bottom. And you leave it in there for 5 minutes. Alright, so here's the grand finale. I cranked up the timer by about half a second, so it's at 10 exactly. So let's see what we can do. Exposure, whoops. Alright, lift this. It didn't lift as gracefully as I would have liked it to. But anyway, the paper. Bring it over here and immerse it immediately. Let's see what comes out. What I worry about sometimes also is straight lines on the borders. And that little like white machine, or like, it's not a machine, but whatever it is that I actually like put the borders down to use. Sometimes it can get crooked, sometimes the lines aren't even. And so you'll get like one fat white line on one side and then like skinny lines on the other side. Or sometimes they're even crooked. That's the most annoying, is they're crooked. And it's not perfect like I like it. And so this looks like it's coming out quite decent. Looks like the lines are all good for the most part. And so now it's just a matter of time. Let's see as it develops if it's going to be a good exposure. So I'll update you once that happens. All right, it's about that time. It's been washing for quite a while. I ended up doing some other stuff, trying to get some more prints to print. Essentially, this is the final product of this. Beautiful. Just how I like it. Borders are good. Exposure is fairly decent. I was a little bummed that this was a little bit too far to the right in terms of composition, but I'm just gonna leave it because I just like it like this. So yeah, it's what I'm gonna do next. It's very important. Gotta turn this red light back on. We gotta like squeegee it off. But I gotta get this and put it on this piece of plexiglass. Get this squeegee right here and knock all the water off it. It's gonna go to the drying rack next. And I'm not really too worried about the test strips. I'll get those in a minute. But I really want to get this off. And the thing is, I keep switching trays because I don't want any kind of like contamination of the different chemicals. So first I had a white tray to bring the wet one from the wash into here. And now I'm going to use a dry tray, which is the red tray, put in there. And I'm not going to stack anything else on top of it or underneath it, because either that's stick or, like I said, cross-contamination, and you'll get chemicals on one. So now we're going to go back in here to the daylight. We're going to put it on the drying rack. First print of the day. Came out looking really well. That's why you do test prints, so you don't waste paper. We're all the way back there. Let it dry. Be good by Thursday. And here we are, almost noon now. Been a good almost 4 hours this morning, but got a whole bunch of test strips. We'll get to the final prints in a second. All those test strips. This row isn't mine, this second row, but these are all test strips, and then some other stuff down on this fourth row. Here's what I got past 4 hours. I started off with this one, and then I moved on to self-portrait. It was cold that day, and that was a reflection of my car. And then, yeah, I moved on to this one next. This one took me a little bit to get. This one was relatively easy. It's the cross team. And then this one frustrated me because I did like high contrast to start with, and it was just too much. So I printed it like 3 or 4 other times. So I have like 4 or 5 prints in total of this one, but this is my favorite. And it's almost got like this sepia tone to it. It's just really cool, and I really like them. So yeah, all this and a few things underneath took me 4 hours to get all that done. So yeah, I'm on my way to go eat some lunch now. And actually, wow, I'll point that out. This right here is taken right here. Yeah, I know this is a little dumb, but just so you get the picture. So I ended up going to Al's Pizza for about 20-30 minutes. I apologize for not filming it at all, but I really just felt the Lord wanted me to go see Ryan, my friend who works there, who more or less used to be my boss. Got some pizza, and I really just wanted to spend time with him. And he showed me his new car. That was really cool. He got Subaru BRZ 2019, and it was cool blue color, like cool khaki gray or whatever it's called. But yeah, I just wanted to go see my friend and go spend some time with him. See some people I used to work with. So it was good, but it was more focused on what the Lord had me doing more than capturing this. But now, that being said, I was still a little bit hungry. I already packed my lunch today because that trip was a little unexpected. But now I have Cole's Shepherd's pie, I believe it's called. I had it last night, and I'm eating it with this knife that I've thoroughly sanitized. It's kind of cool. Watch this. Just cut off a little bit like that. And use it like a spoon. Thinking about it, I actually might have some survival kit, whatever stuff back there, but can't be bothered. It's ridiculous, I know. But afterwards, I'm gonna go to the library, and then I'm gonna study for a little while. But I'll see you guys soon. So now it's a little past 3:15, and I've just been working on this disciplehood thing for a Bible study that I'm leading on Thursday. I'm going through Ephesians 2, and there's only 22 verses, and I'm on verse 13. Just kind of got a little exhausted and out of wind, I guess, out of fervor or whatever, so I had to take a break. But in about 15 minutes, I'm gonna go out and see if women are at the women's team are playing some football, so I can take some photos, and then I'm gonna shoot men's team after that, if they are actually playing, and then after that, go to the gym again, and then go home. So it's been a long 2.5 hours. So I'm just leaving St. Leo now. It's funny, when I got here today, the sun was on the other side, now it's on the west. It's about 7:15 now, and I really apologize. I didn't film the gym, I didn't film anything really. I was just feeling some type of way today, and just kind of towards the end there, right when I was finishing my stuff on my computer before I went out and took photos, I was just kind of feeling a little just bummed out, a little heavy on my chest. So I didn't really film a lot. I've got some photos I'm fairly sure I already dropped in the video. Now I'm going home. I did abs today, and then we did some arm stuff, Then we did some pull-ups, pull-ups. Chin-ups, one of them. And I ended up doing 7, and it almost killed me. It was really difficult. And then, like, right after, my friend was like, okay, now we gotta do one that's like a lot more quality. Do as many as you can, like the best you can. So I ended up doing like 3, and the 4th, I was like kicking and squirming all the way up. Barely did it, but like touched the top of my chin. I was like, I'm done. And I dropped it. I was like, man, that was awful. But then I just finished off with some chest stuff, and it feels good to like finally be able to exercise and just, you know, have that aspect that with friends and people that I like. Because I shoot photos all the time, and I don't get to do motocross. I don't get to play football, and so it's nice to finally get some exercise. How bright that sun is. I was trying to get that this morning. Now I got it this evening. But anyway, I'm on my way home to eat dinner now. Really great day today. Worried about some stuff that I think I'm gonna get hold of once I get home. Otherwise, I'll see you guys soon. Got home and dinner was like this, and I'm really thankful for Dad and Sarah both, because they really just made a great meal for me. And it's not something that I have to do, and it's not something they have to do, but they do it anyway, so I appreciate them very much both. So I thought this could be interesting. It's 8 o'clock now, but I wanted to show you the process I do for my digital photography, just as I showed the process for my analog photography this morning. So first I'm gonna get this 128 gigabyte SD card, put an SD slot, go into the other folder, 712 items. Once they load, as you can see, they're all football stuff that I shot today on men and women's team. So you scroll up to the top. Sometimes I like to select a separate amount into men and women's, but usually I have, you know, quite a few more photos that I took today, because I just really wasn't feeling into it today. Heart just wasn't there. But anyway, so I think I might just skip that. But how I do it, so I just double click. Okay, that's, you know, a fairly decent photo. But I take the scroll wheel like this, and I just go in between them and see which ones I can keep, which ones I delete. And so what I'll do is say, I'll look at the file number. So this is IJP 2265. So say I like that one, so I'm gonna keep it. So I'm gonna then click on the next one, and then I'm gonna scroll through all the bad ones. Say I don't like any of these ones, and then I see, okay, this one I do like. So I'm gonna see, okay, this is 22 or 23, wow. And so I'm gonna click off that. I'm gonna get from this one and hit, it's gonna be difficult, shift, and then click. And it's gonna select all those. And I hit the delete button and get rid of all those in one go, instead of having to like click on them and hit the delete button every time. Just get annoying and take forever, and you gotta do it one by one. So now that I got all of these kind of culled through, as they say, I have 72 photos left to go through and edit in Lightroom, and I originally had like 700. So yeah, it's usually about 10% of what I shoot I keep, and that's between the men and women's. So I'm just gonna open up Lightroom. I'm gonna go to library. I'm gonna select all, and then I'm just gonna drag them in. We're gonna load up, get import, and then you're gonna watch them pop up slowly and surely. So after I get them all queued up down at the bottom, all 72, I go in and start editing. So first what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna look at the aspect ratio. I'm gonna change it to 2:3 or 4:6. And I'm gonna see it's a little off kilter, so I gotta straighten it out as well. And then lastly, keeping it at the same aspect ratio, I'm gonna crop it a little bit and recenter it. And then hit done. And that's the photo. That's the original. That's the edited. And now I'm just gonna adjust lighting, like exposure. I'm gonna give it a little bit of a vignette down here. I'm gonna cut up the highlights a little bit as well. And that's your finished photo. That's the original. That's the finish.